here, TK and Drinks, and we've got a Tuesday interview coming at you this week. We're going to be joined by Matt and Debbie, I believe it's pronounced McDonough, from Meadworks. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Inside the Mead Maker Studio. So I've been trying to get a hold of these cats for quite a while and talk to them. I'm really excited to finally get to talk to Matt and Debbie and get to experience and share with you guys all the things that are Pie Road. These guys are down in Tampa, and they just popped in right now, and I'll let them, barring any sort of horrific technical difficulties, let them explain where they're from and what they're doing. I'll pop on in. So, oh, look, I love it. It's a beautiful thing. Look how easy that connected and everything.
It's a great when a plan comes
you guys
together.
Oh, I love it when a great plan comes together like that. So thank
you doing, bud?
you, Matt and Debbie, for joining me today. Appreciate that, as always.
Of course, our pleasure. And forgive the technical difficulties. We might have a few glitches here. Our internet's been a little up and down today, so you know.
I'm in kind of an internet dead zone as well, so it's all with crossed fingers today, player.
Hey man, if we get bumped, we'll be right back. That's what we're saying. So.
Hey, no worries. It's how it goes. But appreciate you guys all for stopping in. So why don't you guys introduce yourself real quick and give a little background, the nickel tour from the history of Pie Road.
All right, quick. It's a quick tour. That's Debbie. I'm Matt. Matt McDonough. We are the owners, founders, people primarily responsible for Pie Road Meadworks. Been homebrewers for about 7 years. We started about 7 years ago. Really kind of took a shine to mead, really loved it, had some real successes with our first ingredients and our first recipes. And we said, let's do this. And of course, everybody says, let's do this. I don't know that everybody says it when COVID's about to hit, but
right.
COVID hits. I know a few folks who've been impacted harder than we were. So, but we started it in March of 21. We're in our third year now. We've got a bunch of medals, so people seem to be liking what we're doing. We like what we're doing, which is the most important thing. If you don't like what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it.
Definitely.
And 3 years in, and we still get along, and we still like doing it, and we don't fight and kill each other. So something's right here,
Yeah, there's something to be said for not killing each other when you work together and live together and all that stuff. That much time in that confined of a space can certainly have some of that Homer and Bart choking each other type thing.
Yeah. And not that there's not moments of frustration, and just because there's always a new deadline and there's always a new batch and there's always this, that, and the other. But by and large, yes, we get along pretty good. So if you're out there, you're thinking about starting your own meadery, do it with somebody you get along with, because
yeah. Make sure it's with somebody you get along with. You're going to be spending a significant amount. If they weren't a work spouse, they were going to be now.
Yeah.
Apparently, Funktastic Meads says your sweet meads are stupidly balanced.
Yeah,
I love those guys up there.
He's not wrong. I love you, Matt.
Yeah, I love you, Matt. You're freaking awesome. Yeah. So you guys said you've been in it since about. Started on Pie Day in 21, right? You guys try to keep that pie theme going?
It kind of worked out just perfectly. I mean, it was not intentional at all, but, when the contractor said, it's looking like end of February, we were like, all right, let's do it, Pie Day. And it lined up with Tampa Bay Beer Week, which was perfect.
It was actually the last day of Tampa Bay Beer Week. And as anyone who's gone through this build-out cycle and, we happen to have a week where we have a bunch of wonderful folks from all over the country come into Tampa. And we said, if we can't get our doors open during this week, it's a huge missed opportunity. So we did open on Pie Day. Didn't plan it that way. That was just the way it worked.
Right.
And, we had 4 taps on.
Yeah.
We had 4 taps on, 1 keg each. And that's how we opened. And, humble start.
Did you kick all the 4 kegs the first day?
No, we do 1 ounce pours, which a lot of folks don't do smaller pours. And there's a couple reasons for that here. One is we're outside of Tampa city limits. We're not far outside, but it's a little bit of a drive, like from Angry Chair Brewing, which is kind of what everyone uses as the epicenter of Tampa brewing. We're about
Gotcha.
15-20 minutes. So if you're going to drive to us, it means you're going to have to drive back most likely. And I don't believe in doing 6-ounce pours of 14% meads and then putting somebody on the road. We pour responsibly. So,
Hey, that's more than a lot of cats do, because like you said, there are some people out there doing those 6-ounce pours of a 14%er,
yeah.
and they keep them coming. Let's put it that way.
Well, I mean, would I like to do that? Would my accountant like me to do that? Yes. Would I feel comfortable
Morally,
morally, ethically,
right.
But we also have the
Gotcha.
session meads we've been doing too, and those are 5%. And, we can flow those a little bit, more because I don't. It's a little bit safer for a little bit more
You
consumption.
actually have one that just came out recently. That strawberry watermelon coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Is that not?
Well, we did that as an experimental batch because we always are trying different flavors. We've got core 4. We got our key lime pie, apple pie. We do a blueberry mojito. Those are our core. We've been doing them for over a year. But we're always tinkering with flavors. Yep. She's always got great ideas on flavors. She's like, do this, do that, and so we threw that one together, and it flew. The keg was gone in a weekend.
Yep.
And was pretty fast for us because we're only open 18 hours a week or whatever it is. So we did it again, and it was gone even faster the second time.
Yeah, definitely a fan favorite.
So now we're
kidding.
We're on the, do we make that one of the core? Does that become one of the always in rotation because people seem to love it? So and in all fairness too, we've done some flavors that have not flown off the shelf the kegs as fast, it'll stick around for a bit. So, but we're always trying to do something different and keep it interesting because I don't like going into a brewery or meadery and it's hard with mead because it's, like you said, so potent. But having new offerings on tap keeps people coming, and that's where the session meads have really helped us because we rotate those out a lot faster than our still mead. So.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to drop a brand new BA still mead every week or 2 of them a month or something like that. It gets to be,
it's a lot.
Some serious space needed to take care of that. Yeah, exactly.
Certainly is. It certainly is. And at a certain point, it's you've got a customer base that it's times are a little tight right now. We get that. We're not trying to tap into people's wallets too often, and when we do, it's good stuff, and that's kind of our philosophy. So.
And I like that your guys' I started a new show. I'm doing a news show called That Mead Show, and I was talking about your guys' mead club on there, and I like that it's only $200. With a lot of those mead clubs are $300 plus. Yeah. And you guys come with swag, comes with discounts, comes with bottles.
Yep.
I mean, it's all the good stuff that you want for a club. And like you said, you're not getting in your pocketbook, 50% less than everybody else, 40 to 50% less. So
we try.
I'm a huge fan of that.
I mean, and the goal of any membership is to, we love for our members to come in and visit us. And, if that happens, we can forego trying to get that money up front because, we're not interested in just padding the book and then, we don't do anything with it. We want you to come back. We want you to try things that we have new every week. We want you to get that discount that we offer. And the swag's pretty cool. Do you want to grab one of the openers that Deb's going to grab an opener. Last year, we didn't tell our members that we were having a special swag gift, but we went and got these super duper high-end custom openers made. And she's got, came in a little pine box and etched and stainless steel, heavy duty. You could, got the Velociraptor talon on the end there, and it's the last opener anybody will ever have because it is military grade, the best thing that's ever been made. So we try to do things like that to keep people. One, we appreciate you. We want you to join. We want to take care of you, and we'd love to have you back too. That's so it's not a one-way relationship. That's.
No, definitely. Hey, I'm like I said, I'm here for all of that. So you started, said back in 21. How long were you homebrewing before that?
About 4 years. And it's an
Okay.
interesting story. I had a friend, Robert, who the first time I ever had mead was his mead. He did a peach bourbon, and at the time I had little kids. My kids were like I think 8 and 10 or 7 and 10, whatever it was. I always wanted to brew, but I never had the time. And it's Florida, and I have no interest in sitting in a hot garage boiling for 6 hours. And I'm just that's just not my jam. So when he
Yeah.
brought this meat over, it was delicious. And I said, well, how long did it take you to make that? And, he's like, no, you just put the raw ingredients together. And, and I was like, light bulb went off, and I was, so cool. We did it. We started it. We did our first batch was a peach apricot, much drier than the stuff we make now, not intentionally. We just didn't know what we were doing at the time,
Sure.
but a clean ferment, very tasty. So we said, oh, cool, we got this down. So batch number 2, pineapple coconut. We did coconut water in primary because we thought we were going to be clever and bypass all the aging. And we're just going to, it was a sulfuric mess. At the time, I didn't know what I did wrong. I do now, obviously, with, more years under my belt. But we ended up, saving a speck of it and dumping most of it down the drain.
Ooh,
But if you're not learning, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you're learning from them.
exactly.
The third batch was an apple pie mead, and it won a gold medal at Valhalla in 2017 or 18. And from there, we were hooked. We were just like, let's go. So, and here we are.
Is that the one that became the damn good apple
That
pie?
was damn good apple pie. And then we found that honey. We were driving through upstate New York, and we drove by a honey farm called Damn Good Honey. And
Oh,
they had just opened their doors on that day. It was their first day of their roadside stand. They had just started their company, and we stopped in. They had local honey from it was just outside of like Kingston, Poughkeepsie area. And we said, no, can you get us bulk quantity? And they actually went back to their house and got it from the
uh-huh.
hive and brought it to us. And we made that mead, and it ended up winning medals. And so it was kind of cool because it was also the literal farm to table, like farm to bottle thing, where we got this from the producer and turned it into something cool. And they loved it. They posted pictures of it on their Instagram and stuff. They thought it was cool. And so
Nice.
you get hooked on it.
That's a cool name, Damn Good Honey. I like.
Yeah.
It's not something that you really see a lot of people doing stuff like that.
No, it's New York. They're a little looser up there than we are down here
Yeah,
in the South.
yeah, definitely have a little more
That's
colorful
it.
use of their everything up there.
That's it.
But
So,
I think that experience also taught us the importance of trying to make sure we know the source of our honey.
Yes.
So, like even now, we have a local provider that we work with almost exclusively. And
nice.
Florida, we've got great orange blossom, we've got amazing wildflower,
Mm-hmm.
we've got gallberry. So we use the local honey as much as possible, and I think that really comes through in our meads.
And that's the way it should be. Like I always like when people get to support their local industry. Local industries support each other and help,
Absolutely.
build that like stronger community. But it's nice when you can, for those special things like, like that Damn Good Honey, you can also trust that when you're sourcing something from outside your area, that it's still you're still getting a quality product
Absolutely.
for your customers.
Yep. And that's the one thing we love about our current honey provider, the Honey Couple. We've known them since before they had the business, and they've
Oh,
just
wow.
blown up. And they're looking at going national, and yet like we're one of their very, very few wholesale customers. They take care of us. When I
Nice.
want to know where the honey's from, they let me know where it's from. They've brought educational beehives out to the meadery so the kids can come in and see the bees working in the hives. And so it's not just buying honey from somebody, it's having a relationship with our beekeepers. That's very important to us. So
Right. It's support, like you said, it's supporting somebody's family, it's supporting other,
Absolutely.
you know, other community members. It builds that camaraderie of your community. I love it. I'm always for that type of those type of interactions between people in the industries like that. It makes for the best types of relationships.
It does. It does. And it's nice to when people come in and like, is this local? I'm like, you're damn right it's local. Like our main ingredient is local as you can get, man. So it's you know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, in
And
Florida
so do they like?
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I said,
I
do
was
they
gonna say
truck their
Florida has
bees
a
around
reporting.
anywhere?
What's that? We're crossing up here.
Do they truck their bees anywhere so they can get like honey from outside the region, so to speak?
They do. They do. I know they send their bees down to Arcadia, which is kind of in the Sarasota area. They,
Oh, okay.
pollinate the orange blossom or the orange trees down there, get the orange blossom honey. I don't know specifically any other locations, but they're always carting their bees around.
Oh, okay.
They also deal in selling queens and, helping people start
Yeah.
their own hive. So Robert, the owner, is very deep into the beekeeping culture and very, very
Yeah.
helpful, super informative, sometimes to the point where you're like, okay, dude, I get it. Like,
He's very
you
passionate.
know
Just
a lot.
nerding out on something he
He's
loves.
nerding out on it. I'm there for it. But no, great people.
Exactly.
Him and his wife Carly are just the best people, and I love working with the best people. Like, and I mean the best here to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That again, that's some of the best people on the inside, not just the
Yep.
most successful people in their industries. Is the best people that, like you said, have that heart and
Yep.
soul that they put into that in the passion. Because it really comes through in whatever their product is. Even when their product is a service, when you put it through with your heart and passion, people can tell it's genuine, and people seek that out. I truly believe that people have most people have a really strong bullshit detector. And when it goes off, they might be polite and something, but it's real hard to get those type of customers back when they feel like they've been hornswoggled.
Yep. And there's a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of deception, but you can tell when someone's on the up and up and when
More than
someone's,
there should be.
no,
Seriously, more than there should be.
Unfortunately, you're right.
Yeah. So, how do you guys pick your flavor profiles? Is it a collaboration effort? Do you have like a book of like a secret book of recipes that you're working through, or is it just kind of throw a dart at a dartboard and spin a wheel and call it good?
I mean, she'll tell you it's kind of a little bit of everything
Yeah.
there. Like we've got our core recipes and, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and tell her, oh, I just thought of this combination of flavors. I want to try this. And I'll go right back to sleep because I won't remember when I wake up, but she will.
Nice.
So sometimes it hits like that. Sometimes we've got our core, we still have that damn good apple pie. That's our core recipe for all of our apple meads now, because it works and it's clean and it's very enjoyable. So we do have that foundational, flavor, recipes, a book of recipes and whatnot. But we play around, man. We've done some stuff that's coming out soon. We've got some, I don't want to say weird, but different recipes that we have a half barrel pilot system in the back, and we want to just do one small batch of something and see if it works. We can. We don't have to fill 400-gallon tanks. In fact, we don't even have 400-gallon tanks. Our biggest tank is 3 barrels, and so like our big batch is 100 to 110 gallons. Our small batch is as small as 15. So we have the flexibility to experiment, and that's good because I would hate to sink a lot of money into some ingredients on something that ends up being a straight up foul ball. We don't want to.
Yeah.
You mentioned though throwing the darts at something, and we didn't quite do darts, but we were working with Peter at a second city up in Chicago, and we worked with him. We're doing a collab with him that'll be coming out later this year. But basically, we wrote down a list of fruits. We wrote down a list of adjuncts. We wrote down a list of honeys, and we rolled dice. And we had everything numbered, and we just randomly picked. And we're super excited. We're not going to tell you what it is, but be on the lookout. Probably December this year, we're going to have a collab. He's going to do his version up there. We're going to do
Yeah.
our version down
Yeah.
here. I'll let you know it was local wildflower, which I thought was perfect because it winds up,
Yeah.
he's got his local people up there. We've got our local people here. So it'll be
And local
interesting
coffee too.
to do a side by side with those two.
Now there was one twist to that, because you could
One
roll
caveat. Okay.
well, you could roll the dice and get two flavors that just are not going to go together, or something that
Oh.
you just personally don't like. And so
Yeah.
our arrangement was any person could eliminate a flavor if it came up by doing a shot of Malort.
Because it's Chicago.
It was Chicago. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
we only had to do that once.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'd want to do it more than once. I had Malort for my first time not too long ago, right before I went to Sugar Belt. Then when I was there, somebody bombed me. Yeah, thank you. Somebody bombed me with one of the flaming hot Cheeto ones. They said, "Here, just try this," and I didn't even look and just downed it. It was
Chris.
With Jimmy.
I know who it is. It's Chris. Shame
well,
on
Chris,
you.
yeah, Chris is the one who made it. He's not the one who attacked me with it, but no.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no. I wouldn't take anything just random from Chris like that. He did hit me with that ice wine. That shit was pretty random. I'll give you that. I've learned one thing from Chris. That dude is hilarious and suspect at the same time.
Absolutely.
I love Chris.
And that's why we love
that dude exactly. So do you guys have like a preferred yeast strain that you use? I know you source lots of different ingredients from, all over Florida and everything, but do you pick with one strain, or do you try to dial in your flavor profiles to your yeast profiles?
We've got a couple that we use, and it really, and I hate to say season kind of drives what we use. We've read the great Ken Schramm's book, cover to cover. That was, it's our Bible. It still is our Bible. And, when we talk about 71B as a great yeast for melomel, that's kind of our go-to. But we also have the twist of living in a state right now where it is 92 degrees out at 8 p.m. and it's going to be, if it gets to 79 tonight overnight, we'll be doing good. So,
right.
And it's so funny that we say this, because this happened to me today. If we have some sort of equipment failure or a power outage and we're not able to cool our meads during fermentation, I need a yeast that's going to allow for some flexibility as we get up. If that fermentation gets to 80 degrees, that's not ideal.
It's got to be.
But I got to have a yeast that's friendly to that. I can't have it throwing off rocket fuel. So for that reason, 71Bs are one when we can control. We use DV10 a lot. We use QA23. But we always try to think, if we have a hurricane this week and we're without power for 7 days, and that's happened around here, will be okay. Yeah, it's a real possibility. So we've got to plan our yeast usage and around that. So
have you ever messed with Kvike yeast?
Yeah, I love it. The
challenge
is heating the batch up. I mean, I could roll it outside, but I'm a commercial meadery. I can't leave it out overnight. So how do we've got some ways that we're heating that, because that thing is on fire at 95 degrees, and some great ferments with that. But we haven't used it in our still meads yet. We've used it in some experimental session stuff, and I adore it. It's so much fun.
I did a 1 gallon batch with a Kvike, and I let it ferment. I was in Arizona still, and I let it ferment outside and got up to like 115 degrees. The thing was just rocking. I loved it. It's my favorite strain. Just like you said, with lack of temperature control, it's a workhorse. You almost have a trouble getting it warm enough.
And that is the problem. Even in a state like Florida, it's hard getting it warm, to where it wants to be. I remember Joe from Zymarium did an experiment a few years ago, and he had one of the Speedle fermenters, the plastic ones, and he wrapped it in black plastic bags, and he pushed it outside in the middle of summer, and he was like, how hot can he get that fermentation? And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see, and I think he said he had up to 127 or something like that. It was insanely hot, and apparently the fermentation was clean and whatnot. So it's a fun yeast to experiment with like that. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be doing it with garbage bags outside, but apparently rolls with the punches. So
Yeah, no kidding. I think it'd be a bit much for me, but like I said, I think it's a cool concept. I like when people just experiment with wild concepts like that.
Yeah.
It always, I think it pushes the boundaries of the industry and encourages other people to do equally as I say outlandish, but unique and cutting edge type of things, for lack of a better term.
You got to be innovative.
Yeah.
Innovative. That's a better term. I don't like cutting edge because it seems like everything's already been done to some capacity. But if you can put your own spin on it,
absolutely.
Then that's what.
And you know what? Like we said earlier, though, if it comes out bad, then you learned what not to do. That's you just learn something. It's not like it's okay for something to come out bad. If something happens here, which doesn't happen very often, we usually hit our marks. But when something does not hit the mark, it just we scrap it. We move on to the next project. We don't sit here and boohoo about it. What did we learn from that? Let's not do it again. So
exactly. That's like you said. That's the biggest thing. Being able to learn from your mistakes. As long as you learned, it wasn't a waste. Might feel bad dumping some gallons down the drain, but at least that should be solidifying the message into your memory banks.
Yeah.
Oh man. So your favorite honey to work with, what would that be?
Oh boy, I really love Orange Blossom. I don't work with it as much as I'd like to because when we do the fruited melomels and big heavy, I don't like covering up the delicate aromas of Orange Blossom, and I feel like it does it a disservice when you fruit it too much. Some of our favorite meads that we've done are fruited with Orange Blossom, but at the same time, I feel like you just lose some of the beauty of it. So we tend to work primarily with wildflower, a lot of meadow foam. The wallet feels it. It's a tough honey to get a lot of, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And then we've done some blueberry honey. Some experiments with that, and trying to just tie them in with different fruits, and but wildflower's our workhorse. And what we said earlier, we have some of the best wildflower honey at our disposal that I've ever had. It's so good.
That's awesome.
So
that's the way it should be.
It's fantastic, and it's not filtered. I'll find a little bee part here and there. We take those out and whatnot, but it's the real deal. It's not heated. It's raw, man. And I've done fermentations, and we've take the top off the tank, and I look in, and I can see a layer of it looks like
wax,
wax and pollen, on top, and I'm like, this is just untouched, pure honey, and that makes for a fun cleanup on
unadulterated,
pure honey, and and then I know a lot of folks get their stuff from Dutch Gold and whatnot, and it's good honey. We just kind of want to, have something a little closer to home. That's all.
Well, given all that, Deb, do you think that a lot of mead makers, commercial and homebrew or otherwise, do you think a lot of people settle for good enough given how expensive fruits and adjuncts and honey is? I know it's a tough question.
I'm sure there are. We're very fortunate that in our mead circle, the people that we, work with and, communicate with really value that high quality. I had the pleasure of meeting Ken Schramm when we were up at Sugar Belt, and just listening to him talk, I'm like, it's amazing how completely immersed he is in all of the mead making process, and just standing there listening to him and the depths of his knowledge on mead making and on honey and all of that was just so humbling. But those are the people that I want, and we try to surround ourselves with, is people that are going to help help us improve, help us to learn more things. So, and again, everyone starts somewhere. So, if there's someone out there that's homebrewing and, our second batch was not very good. And, but you, again, like Matt said, you have to figure out, all right, what did you do wrong? What can we learn from this? How can we improve? Who can we go to talk to? So if people are homebrewing out there and, you've got a local mead maker that you like, go talk to them. We have people all the time come in and say, I'm working on this batch of mead and I can't figure out what's going on with this, or can you try this and give us suggestions? Like we do that with, local home brewers that come in and we help them out. So, I think everyone is on their journey trying to figure out, how to make the best thing that they can.
We got this wonderful guy. He lives out in Plant City, which is about 30 miles from here. And he'll call me every once in a while and go, I made this mead and something's not right with it. Can I bring it over to you? And so he'll drive all the way across Hillsborough County and we'll run it through our gravity, we'll run through our hydrometer and we'll run it through the pH meter and, and I'll be like, you know what, man, this is what you got. This is what you get. Like, we, and I'll say this, we really didn't have someone doing that at that level for us when we were learning. We kind of crashed and burned here and there and learned our own way. So it's kind of our way to be like, man, it would have been great to have that when we were, trying this for the first time. So let's not hoard that knowledge and not try to help people. And
let's be the change we want to see in the community.
Absolutely,
man. That's it.
I love that. And so that was about, I guess, a little over 5 years ago, roughly 5 years ago-ish, that you started doing that. Where do you see the industry going in the next 5 years? What do you?
Wow, I mean, this is the economy is going to have a lot to say about where this industry goes, and I hate to say that, and I
agree 100%.
It's a tough market. Mead is a luxury item. Let's not make any pretenses about the fact that we make something that is an absolute luxury and is not a necessity. And they always say the alcohol industry is recession proof. No, the PBR industry is recession proof. The mead industry is not recession proof. So, I would say what I see us doing is, we started small. We're staying small for now. We're dipping our toes into distribution. We're not trying to be too big. We don't owe anybody any money except for ourselves because, we've kind of self-funded and took care of, so we didn't extend ourselves too far, which, put a limit on how big we can get, but also insulated us from certain things that we don't have to deal with.
100%.
And I just see a lot of, change coming and people like restructuring what they're doing because the economy is going to force them to do it. And, if I'm being honest, and we've talked about this, we're just happy being small town mead makers that make a really good product. And most importantly, that our customers like coming here and like what we make and we treat them right. And that's, hopefully the rest will come. Well, if we get bigger, the rest will come based off of that. But that's the foundation we want to have. So
I think where you guys are at, and there's several meaderies that are in your guys's, have that same type of mentality. We want to stay a certain level, dip our toes into the distribution, and just kind of see where it goes, and do the Vino shipper thing because that it's distribution, but it's not. It's it's more direct sales to customers and whatnot. So, and I think there's going to be a lot more places going with that model, trying to keep that flexibility, trying to be able to stay fluid with the market and being able to adjust with the with what's going on. I see a lot of the bigger places, some of those guys that have more like nationwide distribution or, even international distribution. I see a lot of those guys probably cutting back or really having to re-examine their platform of how they're doing that stuff because, like you said, the economy is driving everything right now, and I don't see that being a sustainable method. Now, I don't, I can't see into their pocketbooks and coin purses and whatnot, but just from the outside, it seems like a fairly unsustainable a method without serious cold hard cash injections.
Absolutely. And the one thing that we've seen, there's some titans of mead out there, Superstition puts out a consistently great product, and they're everywhere, but there's also 4 times the amount of meaderies that have opened since, they opened, or if not more. And so just like every community now has its own brewery, if not 2 or 3 or 4, it seems like every area is getting its own meadery and there are more local options. And I think, I don't have a problem with saying I want to focus on my local customers and take care of my local customers. And if that becomes something bigger than that, that's awesome. But if I can keep my lights on and my customers happy and keep doing what we
Yeah.
love, and and obviously be on the right side of the balance sheet,
Yeah.
then we're doing something right.
Yeah, I'm sure your percentage of Vino shipper is nice, but it's not the core figure that keeps you in the black, as you put it.
Right. And it's our everyday. And then we go back to memberships.
Yeah.
We've saw when we opened, we had a lot of memberships from all over the country and whatnot. And the nature of Mead is that, when you're and I've talked with other mead makers about this, when you're the new shiny penny, then, everybody is like, oh, we got to get on that. And then in a year, you're not that shiny penny anymore. And so now what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on trying to shine your penny, or are you focusing on trying to take care of the people that are coming in your doors 4 or 5 days a week, keeping you in business, telling their friends about you, and educating those folks on Mead so that they can bring in new customers? Because I think that's where you're going to grow your business. And if I was a mead maker looking to open now, that's what I'd be focusing on.
100%. Now, I have not had the fortune of visiting your guys' meadery. Are you guys in? What's your location like? You guys in more of like an industrial part of town, like a lot of meaderies are? Or you guys have like a cool storefront that's in like a downtown area, or how are you set up?
That's our biggest challenge is foot traffic. We've got we're in we've got 7 tenants in our property here. We face a major interstate or a major highway, gun highway, but we are a stone's throw outside of Tampa city limits. In fact, my shirt, I don't know if you can see it, says just out of Tampa, because people always go, where are you guys located? Oh, we're just out of Tampa, because literally 150 feet south of the meadery is Tampa city limits. But we're in a little more of a rural area to a degree. So there's a lot of education that we have to do up here. To folks don't know what mead is. And if they have had mead, a lot of times it's Renaissance Festival mead, and it's, not the finest mead that's ever been created. It's more of a prop than a drink. And we always tell folks, you're about to drink a drink, not a prop. And not that there's anything wrong with props, but this is a well thought out, finely crafted beverage that we want to educate you about, not just hold up a glass and
and that's probably our biggest challenge.
Old English.
Yeah.
Our biggest challenge, because we've got people, that from across the United States. We've had people even, in Europe come and they're like, we're going to Tampa, we're going to go to Pie Road, and people, nationally, internationally know our name. And then literally across the street, the neighborhood people will walk in and go, how long have you guys been open? We didn't even know you guys were here.
And you literally see us as you drive out of your neighborhood every single freaking day. Come on.
Right. Somebody who's seen your business no less than 1,000 times in the past 2 years. Every day they drive past it twice a day. And here's people, like you said, people in Japan are buying your bottles and having people ship them over.
And by the way, we got a big old bright sign out there and everything. Thing says open and flashes. I mean, we're doing all the storefront things. It's
yourself.
Not hiding ourselves.
This isn't a speakeasy. You don't have to knock on the door and pull the book off the shelf.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Very cool. I really hope to get down there sometime. I would love to come to Tampa Bay Beer Week one year and check out the entire vibe and energy.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
It's fantastic. Tampa Bay Beer Week.
Some of my favorite.
One of the best.
My favorite brewery is down there. I love the guys over at Corporate Ladder. That place is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Those guys are awesome. And they're putting out fantastic stuff. They're a little bit off the beaten path as well, but you're making good liquid. People are going to come seek you out. And that's, mead is a smaller version of beer, a nano niche within that industry. But, we see people coming to seek us out as well. And so corporate's actually one of our thought when we opened here was, they can do well in their area, which is, people
outside
will drive the downtown areas or the brewing districts and whatnot. They make a great product. They're good people. And, we've kind of, I think indirectly founded this place on those same principles. So
that's very cool. And everything I've had from you guys is top notch. Like I I don't know. There's so many meaderies out there that produce, you know, like you said, there's people out there like you're focusing on your session stuff and really taking your time to do your stills. And there's a lot of places out there like that do the, I got 2 new stills every other week. And you can see that the, I don't know, there's just something that's missing, some je ne sais quoi that it feels lacking. And then, you know, you get somebody like you guys, like everything you do is put out because again, that heart, that soul, that passion, that desire to drive a quality product from your guys' hearts and passion into your customers' hands. And I think the fans really appreciate it. Like you said, you got people buying your stuff from all around the world. So I think that speaks again volumes to your guys' quality control and your passion to produce good stuff.
Thank you. And you know, I don't think we've released a bottle in a month because we're not going to let it out the door until it's ready. And believe me, I would love to have a bottle sale, and you know, that's always good for you know the register and everything. But if it's not ready, it's not ready. I'm not going to put something out that I'm not 100% behind. So,
and
we're the same way.
We always say, like, the mead tells you when it's ready. Like, we can have the best intentions and we can have, you know, the calendar scheduled out, and, you know, we try it and we're like, it's just not there yet. And, you know, sometimes meads need just a little bit more time to kind of meld and gel and, you know,
do their thing.
Do their thing.
And you know, we've had a few that have 4 months late, 6 months late. I had one that 8 months after we planned to release it, we let it sit another 8 months and age and, you know, come together. And you know, it sucks because that's a tank that could be taken up by some other new project, but at the same time, it's you know, like she said, the mead tells you when it's ready, and it wasn't. So
exactly. Shifting gears a little bit, so where do you guys see yourself being in the next 5 years? You're just still kind of just trying to do that grow slow thing and maybe get into distribution a little bit. I guess more, is there like any big milestones that you hope to achieve within that time frame?
That's a great question. And I'll be honest, I don't know that we've really looked out 5 years from now. I know we like doing what we're doing. I also know that, you know, we're at the, you know, not that we're elderly or anything, but we also wake up and, you know, lugging those 60-pound buckets of honey around is a little harder here and there. What I would like to do is introduce my son, who will be 21 in about 14 months. I'd love to get him on board, you know, maybe make this more of a family. He's a super smart kid. I mean, literally genius level kid, who would be great at this kind of thing. And, you know, maybe incorporate a little more of the family business, you know, more of the family into the family business, and then see what kind of avenue that opens for us. You know, it's,
I like that.
I don't think we want to get enormous. I don't think we want to stay the same size. There's something in between that giant Grand Canyon of space that we want to be. But I think we're also a little, you know, going back to the economy, I think we're a little bit of trepidation to see where this economy is going to go. And you know, before we think, you know, anything new into this,
everything into it.
Right. I mean, well, like I said, we're actually at a great place in our, you know, personally and professionally. And, you know, there are next steps to be taken, but we need to make sure that the market says that those next steps are ready to be taken. And there's a lot of people that would say, you know, no risk it, no biscuit. I'm at the point where I kind of like my biscuits where they are. So
I'm comfortable with this pile of biscuits right here. I don't need to risk anything.
I got this biscuit right here and that biscuit over there. It's great, you know. If you're well, and that's the thing too. If you're genuinely happy, we have this conversation all the time. We have these stupid philosophical discussions while we're making mead. But if you're genuinely happy, then everything's just, you know, if everything's in place, then you know, sometimes that's okay. It's just okay to be, you know, happy and enjoy it and take that moment and go, this is cool. Like, we love what we're doing. We're putting out the best liquid we've ever put out. And man, that barrel-aged Arrangement of Beliefs, I don't know if anyone's had that. That is maybe the finest mead we've ever put out. When we made the base, I told her, I'm like, this thing is going to clean up in metals. Matt, it's stupidly balanced. If you're still there, that's the stupidly balanced one. And I know, I love that guy.
Yeah.
But you know, when we barrel aged it, it was just to a whole new level. I'm like, and we're just getting to the point where I think we're putting out really, really good stuff. And it's, yeah, in some ways it's disheartening that the economy is pulling people away. But
Yeah.
in other aspects, like I said, we're very happy with what we're doing and very confident in our abilities to keep doing it. So, you know, we just kind of keep the biscuits here and you know, see what happens
Keep
in
the
6
biscuits
months.
here. There you go. So back to your previous flavor. I hit up through or your previous flavor profiles that you have released and probably haven't in a while. I was going through your Instagram on there. Is there any chance you guys are going to be bringing back? Now I'm probably going to butcher the name of it. Is it Vanacademia?
Vanacademia, probably. But the thing was, that was one of our meads that we did where we learned something, and that something was that cashews are a bitch. And they are a bitch to deal with. They are a bitch to, you know, clean up afterwards. There's oils and residues and whatnot. And, you know, I think we've adjusted our approach in, I mean, even within the last 6 months on how we do nuts and, you know, making it easier to clean up after them and whatnot. But we were just talking on the way over here. One of the ones we might be looking at doing is John, which was named after my grandfather who passed away 23 years ago. Oh my God, a long time ago. Who loved chocolate covered cherries. Like, and as a joke, he mentioned once, you know, because he had 8 kids, and they all said, you know, we don't know what to get you, Granddad and or Dad, and I love those chocolate covered cherries. So every year he'd get between 12 and 24 boxes of them, and it was almost like a comedy thing because he's never going to eat them, but it was such a joke that, like, you know, and so we made that mead back in 2018, I guess.
Yeah.
And
chocolate cherry,
and it was really good, and I just haven't really gone back to it yet, and that's something that's kind of been swirling around in our heads. And but the Vanacademia was good too. That was a good one.
The other one I wanted to know about was the was a rainbow series that you did.
I get asked about that series more than I think anything.
I would imagine
it was
impressive looking, all lined up in the picture. It looks like you did a phenomenal job color wise. It looked spot on.
That one was so much fun, and we just bought bags and bags and bags of Skittles, and we had our kids sit there and separate out all the colors into the separate piles. Of course, they were eating them along the way, but that was the goal, is to, you know, do the rainbow, the Skittles rainbow. And of course, Skittles company says that, you know, they're all the same flavor. And when we did those batches, no, everybody loved the red Skittles. That was red Skittles. That was the one. That was the one.
Yellow tasted like floor cleaner.
Yeah.
And green tasted like pesticide.
Yeah.
Like really, like,
oddly specific.
It was not very good. Those two were not good. The other ones, the grape, the orange, and the red were pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd love to do just the red again. You know, now that we have the TTB and having recipes approved and whatnot. I don't know if that's something that we could get to fly. But you don't ask, you don't find out. So, you know, it would certainly be a artificially colored, artificially flavored. You know, let's be clear about what it is, but it was fun. It was a good one. I still have a bottle of that red one sitting at home too. I wish I had known you were going to ask about it. I would have popped it right here in front of you.
Oh,
maybe
that would have been intense.
When you come to visit,
yes,
we'll have to pop it. Yeah.
Hey, I will make that.
Right on.
I will make a special trip just for that. Believe me.
Right on.
Yes. So we are getting approaching that 1 hour mark. So this is about the time I kind of switch over to some like rapid fire style questions, little kind of get to know you behind the scenes type of questions. Oh.
No.
All
right, I'll do it.
Nothing too crazy, I promise.
Good.
So what's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
Coffee, 100%.
Yeah.
We make
Don't
it the night
function
before.
without the coffee.
We make it the night before. We stumble out of bed. We hit that thing,
Yep.
and I mean, literally, it's our kids know not to mess with us until we have that first cup.
Until you have the coffee.
We both still work our day jobs too, so coffee is number one priority.
Yeah. We're running some. It's a lot of hours.
16-hour days here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But again, the old saying, "You do what you love, and it doesn't feel like work." This place very, very seldom feels like work to us.
Yeah. Tell your back that after lifting those 60-pound buckets of honey.
I tweaked my finger one time, man. I thought I permanently damaged a nerve. I lost feeling in my finger for the better part of 4 months, and it finally came back. This is right after we opened. I could not feel the side of my finger for 4 months, and it finally came back. So yeah, it's we don't get workers' comp here.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy crap.
That was tough.
Hot or cold?
Just
in general.
Hot. This one here would be hot on the equator in July, or be cold on the equator in July. So she's always cold.
Yeah.
Always cold.
Yeah.
Favorite breakfast cereal? Cinnamon
Toast Crunch.
No, B. I got mine is such an old man answer. Screw you. It's Special K with chocolate pieces in it. The Special K chocolate. I love that stuff. Cinnamon.
That one, it was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. To be real, I first time I had chocolate in my breakfast, I was like, this is probably not like, I'm not like a Cocoa Pebbles or any of that type of stuff, and the actual chocolate chunks through me. But I agree, man. I was surprised, and it was pretty damn good.
You know what I hate now, and I loved when I was a kid, was Lucky Charms, because whenever you're eating it and you bite that marshmallow, it feels like nails on a chalkboard with your but your teeth version. I hate that. It's so gross.
Oh, dude,
I hate it.
It's almost like I can feel it starting to dissolve my teeth as I'm crunching into the marshmallow. It's so
the sound is like squeak. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, exactly. Like chewing on like styrofoam peanuts or something like that. It's
exactly right. It's so gross. See,
brutal. Burgers or pizza?
Burgers.
Agreed.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Oh, come on.
Obviously coffee. We already went through that one.
Yeah, I did that.
If you have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, the power to sleep another 6 hours in any given night. There's some nights, man, we roll 3 hours, 4 hours sleep is not uncommon.
That's rough.
That's tough. That's tough. I mean, I don't know that I really want any superpower, because with great power comes great responsibility, and I have enough responsibility as it is. So,
yeah, I'm good with my mundane responsibilities. I don't need any of these super responsibilities everybody's talking about.
Can you imagine having to go around and fire like webs at people to save them? I don't want none of that, man. Just give me my coffee and let me take a nap.
No, somebody said the power to have my mead come out decent every time, no matter how bad I fuck up. I was like, yeah, that's probably the most realistic thing. It's like you just sit there and just throw stuff in there, and it turns into a good project no matter what. Just
the crazy thing is, though, we've done that in the past. We've done like kitchen sink meads where we just throw this in and that and this in, and I'll be damned if it doesn't come out as good as like incredible, and then you don't have notes because you don't know exactly what you put in there, and you can't replicate it because you just threw a bunch of shit in the tank. And so, I mean, the power to replicate any recipe over and over again, that would be the superpower I'd want. Without notes.
To be able to have repeatability without notes, now that would be fucking something. I'll give you that.
That's a useful superpower.
Yes. What's going on, Drinking Horn? Pool or darts?
Oh, I'll let you answer first.
Pool.
Oh.
I was gonna say pool too. So yeah. If she
I'm
said darts,
more
we
of
might
a
be getting divorced. I don't know about no. It's cool. It's cool for both of them.
dang. All right, so let's go this way then. Darts or shuffleboard?
Shuffleboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my go-to. I love shuffleboard. I hadn't seen it until I turned about 21 and went to my
Right.
first bar, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, why have I not heard about this? Why don't they have these in arcades and stuff
All
like
right.
that? Got air hockey. Why can't they have shuffleboard?
Shuffleboard or pickleball?
Pickleball.
Oh, shuffleboard.
Pickleball.
Wait. Are we talking indoor bar shuffleboard or
I was talking
like the kind with the sticks, like on
old
a
person
pool
out
deck?
on the
Oh,
lawn.
no, pickleball all day.
Right, there we go. See?
Yeah, no, none of that. No, only the shuffleboard in the bar with
like
the little things and stuff.
Oh, like
the stuff
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
did with woven. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, none of that outside store. Like, no, I got about 60 years before I'm ready for some of that. Y'all ever played pool?
She's a hustler at
pool
that
darts?
puck shuffleboard game. She's a hustler, man. She was hustling breweries up at Kill the Lights last year. I mean, hustling them. Like these three, ding, 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 like taking pucks off the board. I was like, damn. So,
you guys ever play pool darts? I don't think I've ever even heard of pool darts.
nope.
Oh, pool. Those guys up there mess with it. Evan and Nick up there. A couple of my buddies from Arizona. Those guys messing with me.
Just kidding.
Nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Making me look even stupider than I normally look, guys.
Well done.
I love those guys over there. So if you could replace the main star in any movie, who would you pick and why?
Is this supposed to be the lightning round? That's like a deep question, man. There's like a.
He would pick Keanu Reeves to replace any main character.
Oh, I love me some Keanu Reeves. That's a good human being right there.
I'll be Neo in the Matrix any day. That would be freaking rad.
Can you imagine like Keanu Reeves as like switching with Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver?
No.
That would be creepy.
That would be interesting.
Huh?
Yeah, that'd be fucking way creepy since how he was like. Was Keanu Reeves even born when that movie came out?
He might have been born. He might have been like 2 or 3 because I think
that would have been a really weird version. A 2-year-old taxi driver.
But not equally any less weird than the actual movie. I love Taxi Driver. That shit was ridiculous.
I do too.
Travis Bickle is amazing.
He hates it. It's creepy AF. It's dark.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
but man, is that a period piece movie that just hits it on all cylinders? It's fantastic.
Exactly. So you guys said you still work your day job. So my next question, or my last kind of question in this is, if I wasn't a mead maker, I would be so you're still mead makers, but you are also regular 9-to-5 job. So what's your regular gigs?
Training and teaching.
I teach first grade.
And I train.
So you're the
Medicare. I'm an instructor, project manager, trainer, communicating. So she's amazing at what she
dealing
does.
Dealing with the front lines there.
Now, what I would really want to be is a musician.
Yeah.
Like I got like a guitar and stuff, and like go out on tour and like kill.
He's an amazing musician as it is, just not like
not
all the time professional.
Gotcha. Yeah, if I could do anything like that, I'd be a race car driver. I want to be a race car driver forever. That's so rad.
That would be a lot of fun until you hit a wall.
Yeah. I don't need to go Dale Earnhardt in it or anything like that. That would definitely not be fun.
That's an adrenaline rush, though.
Where is Pie Road at? Well, that's a fantastic question, Cat's over there drinking horn, and a fantastic way to wrap this up. So if you're looking to catch some stuff from Pie Road, they are just outside Tampa.
Yep.
Just out of Tampa. There it is. Boom. Just out of Tampa. They're on the Vino Shipper platform. Finally, you've been on there for a little while now, right?
About a year and a half, 2 years. If you go to our website, pyroad.com, if you want to place an order locally for pickup, we've got a link that takes you to our store here. Your Vino Shipper takes you there. We just opened up shipping to Alabama. I don't think drinking horns in Alabama, but if you were, you could get mead in Alabama. We just actually sent out our first package to Alabama this week, which is pretty cool.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's a yep.
Right on. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. I know you're all busy folks with the day jobs and the meadery and whatnot, so I appreciate anybody who's willing
Absolutely.
to spend an hour with me and let me pick their brains.
Absolutely.
That was
Thank
a
you
lot
for
of fun.
having us.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
ton of fun.
Oh,
And hopefully we
well,
do it
thank you
again
guys so
soon.
much. Yes. And anybody who's looking to see these cats and you're not in Tampa, if you happen to be in Richmond, Virginia, come
Yes.
October, they are going to be at the Sugar Belt Mead Festival, Beeline to Richmond. So tickets are on sale now for that as
Yep.
well. So go meet these cats over in Richmond if you're in that area.
Yep.
Great chatting with you guys tonight, and I will be in touch and we'll get some bottles and all that type of stuff.
Sounds good, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nice chatting with you.
Nice. Love you
Later.
guys. Have a good one.
Later, buddy.
Bye.
Later. So that was the guys over there at Pyro. Thank you so much, Matt and Deb. Appreciate that. Next week, we will be speaking to Mr. John Brulahan from Brulahan. They believe he's also there in Florida as well. So come back for that. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. Peace.